Till yesterday, we have learned how to create a repository and various components in the repository, like how to design various layers of repository, like physical layer, VMM layer, and presentation layer. And in today's session, we are going to learn how to check whether a repository is consistent or not, and how to deploy that particular repository into Oracle BI server. Okay. By the end of today's session, we'll be learning how to validate a repository file and how can we deploy that RPD file into Oracle BI server. Okay. Before moving on to the topic, let's have a recap of what is this validating a repository means. Validating a repository is nothing but we need to perform some protocol checks before loading this particular repository into RPD. That protocol checks will be done by server itself, that is consistency check. Okay, and beyond that consistency check, we need to use our common sense even while doing that. Why? Because the tool itself checks whether all the logical concepts were satisfied or not. But we do have some physical things like if you have provided some wrong join, if you have joined to some other column than the desired column, the tool will just check whether each and every table is joined to some other table or not. That's it. The tool will just check whether no table is left alone and all. It will check whether all logics were applied correctly or not. That's it. And it is not bothered about it is mapped correctly to the particular column, because it won't use that much of intelligence over there. Okay, we need to use our common sense in such areas. Okay, in order to validate the repository, we need to perform the following steps. That is, the first step is consistency check. Okay, let's dig into detail whether what is this consistency check. Okay, consistency check is nothing but it performs the following operations while doing a consistency check. Okay, let me open your repository first. This is the repository that we have developed yesterday. Okay, we can do consistency check by going to File, Check Global Consistency, or you can use this shortcut Control K. When you do consistency check, it will be displaying the following message if it is completely consistent. If it is not consistent, see, it's showing like business model sales art is not consistent. Do you want to mark it available for queries? You can click no. Then it will show two kind of items in consistency check manager. That is, the first thing is errors and the second thing is warnings. Before in the older version of Oracle OBIEE 11G, we used to have one more other checkbox that is called as best practices. Now they have removed that best practices and they have included that best practices as well in these warnings. Okay, warnings are something that we can ignore even and proceed. But coming to this errors part, we should not ignore these errors. If there are any errors, then it means that whatever the file that we have developed is not perfectly designed. Okay, then we need to take care of that particular errors. Let us consider this error over here that has been generated now. That is, the error over here is the business model sales underscore AUT, sales AUT. Error description is business model sales AUT does not have corresponding subject area. Okay, this is one of the error. Okay, the consistency check will take care of the following logical errors. Okay, when you do consistency check, these are the protocol checks that it's going to check in the background. The first check that it's going to do is all the logical columns All the logical columns are mapped directly to one or more physical column. No logical column should be left alone. Okay, if I want to show that to you practically, okay, this is the error where let me resolve this error first. This error comes under each and every business model should be associated with one or more subject areas. Okay, here as per this error, this sales underscore art business model, this business model is consistent. Why? Because if it is not consistent, let me do this. If you do any changes, here we'll be getting one symbol that is like, let me pull out this thing over here. Then this f underscore orders has been created. Or else if we do one thing, let me create a new business model over here. Test. Okay. When initially when we are going to develop some business model, and if you want to pull some tables onto it, let me say like these three things. Initially it will be displaying like this. Okay, this red symbol, this crossed not allowed red symbol indicates that it is not available for queries, because if it is not consistent, then it is not available for queries. The moment when we click on check global consistency, then it will turn to this color. Why? Because here each and every table it will check, it will have some set of rules or set of protocol checks. If all protocol checks are satisfied as per the BMM layer principle, then its color will be turned out to this color. Here what are the checks it's going to perform? It is going to perform is each and every logical column must be mapped with one or other physical column. Okay, all logical dimension tables must have a logical key. Okay, if the checks are satisfied, then it's not going to throw up an error. Now as per my experience, I think it should show three errors now. The first error is this is not having a presentation, this is not having a subject area in this presentation layer, and one more thing is even this is not having a present subject area in this presentation layer. Okay, these two errors should be triggered now, but this red symbol will go because each and every column is mapped perfectly to one or more other columns in physical table. Let me check that. Is not consistent. Okay, if you look at the errors, it's showing like business model sales art. This is the first error that we got already. This test, business model test does not have corresponding subject area, and we have one more error over here. Logical column ACTL EXT and D, logical column D calendar has no physical data source mapping. Okay, this is about we have dragged some table to this business model, right? That is due to that one. This error is coming because here I have dragged one ACTL ESC and D column. Okay, but this column is related to this physical table, that is here. But what I have done is, the moment I dragged this onto this table, some logical table source has been created, and I have deleted that logical table source. As I have deleted that logical table source, there is no address in the sources for this particular logical column. As it's not relating to any kind of physical column, then that is the reason why we are getting an error over there. That is, this particular logical table is not having any kind of source defined for it. So that is the reason why we are getting an error. Okay. If we delete this and I click on Control K, that error will not be there here. Now we are having only two errors. That is, sales art is not having any subject area, and test business model is also not having any subject area. And you can see clearly that this sales art and this test, as both these things are not available for queries, because as we don't have any corresponding subject area defined for both the things, it is displaying with this symbol, because as both these things will not be available for queries. Let us say if we are in some development phase and we don't want we are least bothered about these things, then we can go to properties and we can make this disabled even, because we are going to develop this particular business model in later point of time. In such scenarios, we can disable this particular business model and we can move on. The moment when we click on Control K, then it will be displaying these errors. But if you want to proceed, then we can click on Close and we can load this particular RPD into server even. But it's best to avoid such things, because sometimes these errors also may have influence on some other columns and all. So it's, as a best practice, we avoid doing such errors. Okay, these two business models are the main errors that we are getting here now. Are these two business models are not having any subject areas. Okay, let me create this. I'm simply dragging and dropping those two business models into presentation layer, and subject areas will automatically get created for them. Now let me do the consistency check. See, now it's displaying like business model, sales and art is consistent. This consistent message is available now. Okay, we want to make it available for this. Yes, consistency fix certain problems. That is, like if it is like some basic minor problems, it's going to take care of that. Our entire RPD is consistent now. Okay, I was discussing some points. What are the protocol checks that is going to check whether RPD is consistent or not. The third point in it is, all logical dimension tables should have one logical key. What this point says is, let us say we are having a dimension table product. Okay, in this product table we have one key defined for this product key. If this particular key is not defined on a column, as per the checklist of OBIEE consistency, each and every dimension table must have at least one key defined. That is, each and every dimension table must have a primary key defined on that. If that primary key is not defined, then it's going to throw up with an error. Now let me show that to you practically. Here this is dimension table. Okay, in this dimension table we have the following key. I am deleting this key. Okay, I have not deleted the column. Observe that carefully. See, this product key is available. It is just available as a column. It is not available as a key column now. The moment I click on consistency check, it's going to throw up an error. Business model test is not consistent. What is, if you want to debug what that error is, then see that error is the business model test logical table D underscore product does not have a properly defined primary key. Okay, most of the errors we can debug them through this error description only. Okay, their description will be quite clear for us to understand where to navigate and check. Okay, it, it's not a very big problem over here. And we do have it displayed one more warning event. What's that warning states is this logical table D underscore products has no defined key. Both the things are same. This product is not having a key defined, and this product does not have a properly defined key. Both are same. Okay. Okay. Let us return this back. Product key. Let me provide some name to this key. That is like product key. Then let me check this product key and click on OK. Now the key is defined. If you click on consistency check now it's displaying as this particular test business model is consistent. Okay. The fourth checkpoint is the fourth protocol check that it's going to check is each and every business model must have at least two logical tables. Excuse me. Each and every business model. This is one more important check, guys, and this is very important interview question even. Each and every business model must have at least two logical tables. As per the tool perspective, there must be at least one fact and one dimension. Okay. If that fact table is not available, let us say they have provided you people with only one big table, a table that consists of around 60 to 80 columns, and they just gave you instructions to apply some filters on the particular selected columns, and they just want a report with some particular columns on that particular single table only, and they have not defined any kind of dimension model or anything, and they are not providing any kind of dimensions or facts, but you people were given that table and you want to generate some reports from that particular table. Okay, how you are going to handle such scenarios? That place. Okay, how you are going to handle such scenario plays a very important role there. Okay, let me show that to you practically. Let me develop one more new business model, test 2. Okay, they have given only this customers table for me. Okay, and I have dragged these customers, this test 2 business model into presentation layer, and this test 2 subject area has been automatically created over here. Now let me check the consistency. Okay, as I have already told, it's not going to accept a single table in any business model. See, the error now we are going to get is the logical table test 2 is not joined to any other logical table. Okay, there is a workaround for such things. The error that is getting displayed over here is this particular logical table, that is this D underscore customers in this particular business model is not joined. The main problem for it is it's not whether the table is existing or not even, but it should be joined to some other thing. Okay, we can handle such scenarios through a little bypassing workaround. What that is? Here now I'm going to create a duplicate for this. Now I have created a duplicate. Now go to business model diagram and create a join between these things. What it is asking is, it is asking just there is this table is not joined to any other table. So we are satisfying that with this particular join. Join it with this new key and new key. Okay, as keys were already defined on both the table, it will automatically create join between them. Okay, now we have defined this join. Now we have satisfied the tool, because as per the logic that is defined into that consistency checker, each and every dimension table must be related to any of some other table. Okay, see, now it is treating this as fact table. Why? Because we have the direction of join that we have given is from this table to this table. Usually how the direction we follow is from fact to dimension, right? So it is treating this as fact and it is treating this as dimension. Okay, even though we have entire descriptive things or entire descriptive data in that particular table, even though we have that, as per depending upon our direction of our join, even it decides, like it is going to treat this thing as fact and it is going to treat this thing as dimension. Okay, sometimes we do call these things as factless facts. Okay, actually what is a fact? Fact is something that has some measure and that consists of entirely like key columns defined in it. Okay, even though we are not having such table available, but in order to satisfy the tool, we are going to do this workaround. So in such scenarios, we call it as factless facts. Okay, now we have satisfied the tool with this join, right? Now if we do consistency check, now see, now it's displaying like this particular business model test 2 is consistent. Okay, we generally used to come across such scenarios regularly. Okay, as per the requirement. If there is a problem, then definitely we do have some workarounds for them and we need to do that. Now it's consistent. Okay, we have discussed up to now, we have discussed around 4 points over here. And one more check that it's going to perform is, all logical tables have a logical join relationship to another logical table. Okay, that was discussed here only. Each and every logical table must have a logical join relationship to at least one or many logical tables. Let me write this point over here. Every business model should have 2 logical tables, and each business model, so each logical table in business model must be joined to some other table. Okay, if you want to put it in a funny way, in business model, no bachelor table is allowed. It should be coupled with some other table. Okay, these are the following checks that are going to happen in consistency check. Okay, listen to me carefully, guys. Now I just want to ask you a question, that this is the most confusing question everyone used to ask in interviews. Even my entire repository is consistent. Okay, my entire repository is consistent, but in physical layer, in physical joins, instead of joining to one particular column, I have given the join to some other particular column. Okay, let me put it like this. We have joins between these 4 tables, right? Okay, let me view how they are joined. Now for these orders and customers, I have joined between here in customers. The actual key column is new key. Instead of new key, I have joined it to address. Let me put it like this. I have joined it to address and I clicked on OK. But it is having a little automatic intelligence, like a comparison is being carried out between 2 non-compatible types. Why? Because this is descriptive and this is key. Okay, let me give a relationship between 2 keys only. Okay, instead of first key, I am giving it to this period key. Now both the data types are same. Okay, now the tool is not having any automatic intelligence to check whether they are incompatible data types. Okay, now it's accepting now. When I select this, it's accepting. Now I click on OK. Now the question for you guys is, does this consistency check can handle such scenarios, and is it going to throw up errors over there?
No, it won't throw any error.
Why?
Means it will just check for the physical checks, like whether it is connected or not, whether it is joined to another table or not.
Yeah, exactly. Both of you guys were perfect. It will just check the logics that has been provided to it, whether it is joined or not, whether it is not joined or not. Okay, it is just going to check whether it is joined or not. That's it. It is not bothered about how data is inserted. In such places, we need to use our common sense. Okay. So sometimes these kind of errors happens. Why? Because these business guys, what they do is they will be providing us with some database, and they will not be provide a clear documentation like what is the key column that is related to some other key column. We just be using our trial and errors. As if two columns seems to be alike, then we will be creating joins between them, and we will be deploying that repositories. And when we generate a report, then that report is going to trigger some errors, like the data will be populated in them, but the data will not be accurate. They will have some sample data. They will be providing us with some sample data and sample queries, right? then then there we are going to check whether to which table it is joined. Why? Because at the back end a query will get generated, right? When we look into that query, then there we are going to understand that this column is pulling data from this column is joined to this particular column in this particular table. Okay, and that is the reason why we are getting there. We are going to check that data, and we are going to modify our joins. Even we will be facing such scenarios normally, and sometimes if we miss that, then ETL testing people will be there and testers will be there. They will be ready for us to catch us and raise defects for us. Okay, we need to be careful with such scenarios here. Okay, now we have completed all the consistency check activities. Now let us discuss about different servers that are available in OBIEE Lounge. I have discussed this already, but I am going to give you a quick recap. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick recap of what are the servers that are present in OBIEE. The first server that is present in OBIEE is, do you want explanation of this first point, right? All the logical columns are mapped directly to one or more physical column. It means that, okay, in order to show that to you practically, this is each and every column is called as logical column over here. Okay, in this table now I am going to create one logical column. Let me put it like Rajesh test. Okay, now this logical column Rajesh test is created, but this logical column is not related to any of the column in physical layer, like any of the column in a physical table in a physical layer. Okay, as this is not related to any column, because this table should have its address defined over here in this logical table source, right? This need to have some address defined over here. This should be routed through this address checker to any of the physical table, but it's not having that source. See, this Rajesh test is not related to any of the column in physical table, or this is not connected to any of the physical table to any of the physical column over here. It's completely blank. As it is completely blank, if we do the consistency check, it's going to throw an error. What is the error? The error is Rajesh test has no physical data source mapping. Okay, this Rajesh test is not having any kind of physical data source map. Is that fine, Rajesh? In order to do that, let it relate. It's not bothered about to which column or which table it is getting related. Let me give this with phone number. Okay, I have provided these details for it. Okay, now as it is related to some of the table, okay, the logic is satisfied for it, and it's not going to throw up any error. Everything is perfect. Okay, we need to take care of such things. Sometimes what happens is we'll be thinking somewhere and we'll be creating a logical column for our certain requirements. Okay, and we'll forget about that. Okay, when we forgot about that and if we left it empty, then it's going to throw up an error. Okay, this is all about consistency check. Consistency check is having some predefined logics to check whether the following conditions will get satisfied or not. Okay, the moment that column that protocol checks for it are not satisfied, it's going to throw up with some kind of errors. Okay, but it can't check some of human errors like joining to some other columns of the same data types. It's not going to check that. It's not having that such artificial intelligence, but it will be checking all its protocol checks, like whatever the checks that are defined to it by the developers. Okay, this is all about consistency check. Now we are discussing about different servers in OBIEE 11G. The first server and the most important server is BA server. This is the main server, and 70% of our work will be done with this is done inside this server only. Okay, this is the main server, and this is the place where we are going to do all our main activities. We are going to deploy our RPD into this BI server. Okay, after deploying RPD, all our queries processing will be done in this server only, and admin activities all admin activities control will happen through this server only. Okay, most of the operations is going to perform through this server only. The second most important server is all the activities will be taken care of this server, but this server can't display anything to the outer world. In order to display everything to the outer world, it takes help of this presentation server. This presentation server, it takes care of displaying reports and dashboards. The third server that is present in OBIEE is Java host. It takes care of hosting our reports and everything in web, as well as it's useful for dynamic displaying, uh, dynamic data displaying like charts and all. In OBIEE we have dynamic charts, like if you click on some value, the charts are going to automatically vary as per the values that are present in that particular report. And the fourth server is scheduler server. The scheduler server takes care of scheduling activities, like every day at 9 o'clock I want to mail a report. Okay, I want to mail a particular report with the refreshed data to manager. All these scheduling activities will be taken care by the scheduler server. And the next server is Oracle BI Custom Controller. This custom controller is nothing but we will be maintaining two or more servers. If you are having more number of users, we will be maintaining two or more servers. It will integrate. This cluster controller is nothing but it can integrate n number of servers. And the other server is WebLogic server. This WebLogic server is completely web server, and this web server is useful to access reports and dashboards globally. Okay, it is it takes what it takes care of communication, like it takes care of displaying reports into the outer world, to the web. Okay, it hosts our reports in web environment. Okay, through internet everyone can access all our reports all around the world. Okay, all these 1 to 5 servers will be integrated with OPM and CTL. OPM and CTL is nothing but Oracle Process Management Control. Oracle Process Management Control. Okay, these all servers will get started when the moment when we start this start VI services from our start menu. Okay, if in order to uh, ensure that our OBIEE is going to work perfectly, then all these servers should be up all the time while we are working. Okay, if at least one server is not working, we may get a lot of errors. Okay, and our next topic is loading RPD. Loading RPD into Oracle BI server. How we are going to load RPD into our Oracle BI server? Through which interface? I have shown that to you on large session in that Saturday. Now, do you guys remember that? Through which interface we are going to deploy RPD file into this Oracle BI server? Through which web page? I am asking you. Through which web page? Through the interface through which we are going to deploy. Okay. Do you remember that? Okay. We are going to deploy RPD through an interface called as Enterprise Manager. Okay. The link for that Enterprise Manager will be like your host name, OBIEE default port name, that is 7001, followed by EM. EM stands for Enterprise Manager. The moment you click on that, then you need to log in with your credentials, that is WebLogic and admin123. After that, here we will be having different components over here. In that components, we will be most of the time we will be working only on this business intelligence, because we have deployed the business intelligence. Okay, we have deployed our business intelligence middleware into this Enterprise Manager. Enterprise Manager will be there for each and every Oracle application. This Enterprise Manager will be a common thing, but we have deployed our business intelligence thing in this Enterprise Manager. So we are going to do, as a business intelligence guys, we are going to deal only with this part. It is business intelligence and core applications. The moment you click on these core applications, you will be having all these tabs over here. Okay, I'm going to explain this each and every tab clearly to you guys. The first tab that is here is overview. In this overview, if this whatever the pie chart is displaying over here is completely full, see, the moment I place my mouse cursor on it, it's showing like 100%. Okay, if it is full, it indicates that all the 5 servers that I have discussed here, all the 5 components that I have discussed here, okay, up 5, this it states that all the 5 servers are in running mode now and they are perfect. And system status 7, all components are available. This is just to have a glance at full overview of whether all the servers are working or not. In coming to this diagnosis part, it will be just displaying any general errors, like the connection with Oracle BI scheduler, monitor port was lost, if connection is gained or not. But the detailed description will not be available over here in this most recent errors. It displays only the recent errors that has happened while our server restart or while we are working on something. Okay, only recent 5 or 6 errors will be displayed over here, and recent warnings will be displayed over here. And here these are all the help files. Okay, there is nothing more to discuss anything over here, because the detailed description of whatever the errors that we are going to get will be available in some log files that are placed in its particular folder. I'm going to show that to you again. Okay, this is the overview part, and coming to the available part, this is the place where we are going to start and restart our servers. If all our servers are down and if your enterprise manager is working, then through enterprise manager we can start all the servers. Okay, if you have deployed something, okay, then we can, if you have deployed some RPD into BA server. Okay, generally I have said previously now to you guys that we are going to deploy RPD into BA server. Okay, it won't be much time taking if you restart only BA server. If you restart all servers, it's going to take some time for the servers to come up. Okay, and instead of restarting all the servers, I'm going to restart only this BA server. Okay, instead of restarting all servers, I'll be restarting BA server. But if something is not working abnormally during our working phase or testing phase, let us say we may have doubt that this presentation server has lost its connection or it's not working properly. Okay, if you have such doubts, it's best to restart all the servers at a time. Generally, while deploying RPD, there is no need to restart all servers. If you are confident enough that my RPD is working well, then it's best. It's the best practice to restart this. As per best practice says that to restart all servers at a time, because so that if there are any bugs or any errors in any server event, that you'll get to know that. But if you want to save our time, then you can restart only this particular servers event. If you are pretty sure that this particular error we are getting is just because of this presentation server, then we can restart only presentation server itself. Okay, we can restart such individual components if you are pretty confident that this error is due to that particular server only. Okay, or else we are going to restart all servers. This is all about this availability tab. And coming to this failover part. In this failover part, if some server is failing or it's not working abnormally, or it has automatically detected that because of some of our activities we have high risk of failures and all that, it will guess that whether as per the performance of whether how it is working now, it may have chances of failures and all. That status will be available over here. See, the risk of failure for all the servers is medium now. Okay, if it is high, then we need to take care. But all in real time, in most of the projects, all these enterprise manager activities and deploying activities will be taken care by our Oracle BI administrators. We do have some administrators for us, like DBA. People will be available for to take care of database administration activities. If it is a big project, then we do have these people over here. If it is a big project, then we do have BA administrators, and they used to take care of all these administration activities. If you are working in a consultant company, okay, let us say if you are working in TCS, and TCS they are working for some X bank in USA, then what happens is these bank people, they don't trust TCS completely, and they will be giving each activity to each person. They will be giving all these development activities to TCS people, and they will be giving all these administration activities to Accenture people. Okay? Even such things happens. But if you are working on if you are joined in a small company, and if you will be given the entire responsibility, you are the only one and only person, you will be a hero there. Okay, you will be a hero there, and you need to take care of all the activities like this, from deployment to report development, from end to end, you're going to take care of all the activities. Okay, so it's better to learn the basic concepts over here. Even coming to this capacity management tab. In this capacity management tab, there is nothing for us to learn more. It will be displaying the metrics, how average query time. Okay, all these things, all the performance activities will be performance. Okay, let me put it like this. This particular report is taking this much time. This after deploying this activity, the minimum average time that is taken for a query is so and so milliseconds. Okay, how much time these people are logging into our servers, and how much time or most of the querying activities are taking place in every day, and all these things can be monitored through this capacity management. This capacity management is nothing but here we will be monitoring how much of our server capacity the outer world is using. Okay, this is useful for let us say if you are getting regularly, most of the capacity is getting used all the time, then it's better to have a backup server even, because if some more additional people are going to hit the server at the same time, then there may be many chances that our servers are going to get crashed. Okay, so it's better to have a additional server, it's better to have some spare server. Okay, by monitoring these capacity logs. Okay, if they find that it's every day or keep peak capacity of our server is getting touched, then it's time to move on and to get a new server even, and attach that server as a cluster to this particular server. Okay, if more number of users are getting routed into our server, then it will automatically route to the second server. Okay, such monitoring activities can be taken place in this capacity management tab. Scalability, this is what I am telling. Okay, in this particular DWB, this DW is nothing but instead of my local host IP address, it will be displaying with this name. Okay, and we have one instance of server over here in this particular IP. If you are having two or more clusters, like if you are having two or more servers defined, then that list of servers will be available over here. And coming to the performance part, this performance is nothing but here we will be defining some set of rules and regulations to Oracle BI server. That is, here we will be providing user level access, like user session expiry. This user session expiry is nothing but here expiry time they given it for 10 minutes. Even though user won't perform any kind of activity after logging in, the session won't expire for him for 10 minutes. Okay, but in real time it's better to provide this session expiry time and all to the minimum amount of time, like 5 or 10 minutes. Here it's common for each and every report. That is, maximum number of rows processed when rendering a table view. Okay, we have generated some particular report. Okay, that particular report is having let me put it like this, like this particular report is having around 2 lakh or 3 lakh records. But as a human being, you can't view all the 2 lakh or 3 lakh records at a time, right? Okay, for in order to handle such things, okay, you will be giving a maximum row limit. We will be limiting maximum row limit to 65,000. This is the default value that is provided by Oracle. What happens here is only the first 65,000 records will be shown to us. Okay, the moment when we are navigating through the report and if we feel like moving to the next part, then after clicking on next, then only the remaining parts will be available. This is very useful. Why? Because it's used lot of performance can be reduced for us over here. The moment when we generate a report with 10 lakh records, and the BI server starts querying all the records from the database, okay, a lot of server process, it is going to consume lot of our server processor. And at that moment, when other people are querying, even when other people are working on some other reports, the server performance gets degraded just because of this particular report that we are running now, because as it is pulling more data, it's going to consume more server space. Okay, all these performance activities will be taken care in this part. Here, this another thing, that is maximum number of rows to download. This maximum number of rows to download is nothing but here we will be providing this as per our business requirement. Let us say we are maintaining some same time server, or we are maintaining some Lotus Notes email, and I want to mail some particular Excel sheet report after generating some Excel sheet report. I want to mail that particular Excel sheet report to a manager every day. But our mail server, it allows only the maximum attachment size it's going to accept will be like 5 or 10 MB. For 5 or 10 MB file, we will have a basic calculation, like if it is like 60,000 to 70,000 records, then only the file size will not exceed that particular size, like 6 MB. If it is like 60, I'm just quoting this as an example. If the number of rows are more than 60,000, if number of rows and columns count is more than 60,000 by 200 or something, then our file, there may be many chances that our file size is getting exceeded. Okay, then we will be limiting number of rows to download. That is, we will be providing some limit, so that whatever the file that is getting downloaded will be of that particular size only. Or else if it pulls the entire 10 lakh records, and if it generates 60 MB or 70 MB file, if it generates a 60 MB or 70 MB report, then our mail server can't send that to the manager, because it's the maximum limit of an attachment over there is like 60, and the process fails over there. Okay, all such performance activities will be taken care in this capacity management. And one more important concept, that is caching. We are going to discuss in detail about this caching part. Let us say we have generated 2 reports over here now. Okay, after generating these 2 reports, and some other user now this let me put it like this: this user X has entered into this part, and he generated some report with columns ABC, and the same some other user Y entered into the portal, and he even generated the same report ABC. Okay, whenever the same report is getting generated, then it's going to consume some server space. But the report is already, if you enable cache, that whatever the report this person X has generated will be saved in cache, and that exists in cache for some stipulated amount of time. And when this particular user generates the same report, instead of going and hitting RPD and going to the BMM layer and going to physical layer, and from physical layer after routing to this physical database, instead of doing all these particular steps, as this particular report is available in cache, what server does is it will check the cache initially whether this particular stuff is available in my cache or not. If it is available in cache, then it's going to pull that report directly from cache, instead of going to wasting the server time and server space and everything. It's going to fetch that report directly from cache, where a lot of our performance will get improved. Okay, all such activities will take place in this server cache part. Coming to the diagnosis. Here diagnosis is nothing but logs, whatever the logs that are generated during our activities, then all these logs will be available over here. But it's better not to use all this view all these logs over here, because the detailed description will not be available. Here we will be doing log configuration. All logs will be saved generally in some of notepad files and all. Okay, here we can define for how much amount of space we need to provide for that notepad file. Okay, if the size is exceeding, then the older records will get deleted and new records will get saved into the log file. Coming to the security part. In this security part, we are going to discuss some of the listener ports and all the things, and we'll not be using this much. Sometimes we will be using this for LDAP server configuration and all. LDAP server is nothing but identity server that performs identity check of particular users and their passwords. Instead of defining that users and passwords in this Oracle, we will be maintaining a separate server over there, which will be common for the entire organization. Okay, so such thing configuration will be done over here in the security part. And coming to the deployment part, this is the main part where we are going to deploy our activities. In this deployment tab, we have the following sub tabs. That is this presentation tab. This presentation tab is nothing but presentation properties like show page tabs, show section headings, and all. Okay, if we uncheck this, then page tabs will not get displayed. All these things will not happen in the front end part in BA answers, okay, depending upon our configurations over here. And this is the repository part. This is the repository part where we are going to browse and upload whatever the RPD file that we have generated now. And this scheduler, I have told you guys in this part about different server components. Okay, this presentation server, this is nothing but this presentation server is nothing but this presentation tab. Okay, now this BA server, the deployment activity will happen in this repository part, and this scheduler, the scheduler activities configurations will be done here. Okay, and coming to this marketing, this marketing is something but we will be providing some web page logins for this, where this report will get displayed directly and it will be live in that particular web page. Coming to the mail part, here we will be providing all email credentials and email server login credentials over here, so that whenever we schedule some reports, every day morning at 9 a.m. my manager need to receive this particular report, it will automatically send a mail with these email credentials. Okay, if it want to send an email, it needs some email ID and password, right? Then we are providing that email ID and password kind of thing over here. Okay, each and every individual component that is present in this core application has been discussed now. Okay, this is fine for everyone, right? And coming to the repository part, I will stop here for today, and tomorrow I will be deploying my repository, and I will be explaining all the remaining parts tomorrow. Okay, it's already time. Okay, is this clear for everyone up to now?
Yeah, somewhat.
Do you have any doubts in whatever the points that we have discussed till now?
Yeah, we have, but we will ask you tomorrow, not now.
Okay,
Okay?
get it clarified now itself, Harish, or else you may forget them by tomorrow.
No, that's okay. I'll ask you tomorrow.
Okay, fine. What about you, Rajesh? Is everything clear for you?